There's been a lot of young coaches who have reached out to me over the years because they want to know the formula. Like, how did you get all that done? You know, how did you go from being a freshman coach in high school to a junior college assistant through the junior college at USC, and then like, boom, all of a sudden you're in the NFL? I wish I could tell them like, that's because I was an ace, man. I just freaking was on it, you know, like, no. I could tell them all about the professional side, but I couldn't tell them about any of the personal side. You know, they just kind of assumed I had that part figured out. Leading up to Super Bowl 49, we're playing the Patriots. And that week, here in the building, it was common knowledge that the wide receivers coach, Kippy Brown, was going to retire and I was going to be promoted. So this is it. This is like the pinnacle of my career. And I remember going upstairs, laying down in bed with my wife, so fired up, so excited about everything. Yeah, and they're gonna come into our house, we're gonna have barbecues, they're gonna see our marriage. And she stopped me dead in my tracks and she said, "This marriage? I think we love each other. I think we're a great team." And then she asked me, she said, "Are you happy?" And I just was like, "No, I'm not happy." I wasn't ready to go there at that moment. I wasn't ready to tell her everything. I took into my marriage bad habits, drinking habits, partying, being unfaithful to her, so that I'm standing up there, sitting at the altar, knowing where I had been, knowing what I had gone and done, bringing that kind of pain and hurt into that, to where even the thought and the memory of my wedding is tainted, but hidden. I started to just like rationalize. I was trying to fix it away, explain it away, and she just wasn't budging this time. So a couple weeks later, she comes to me and she says, "Hey, there's this really intensive marriage retreat and I really would like to go, but I don't want to go unless you want to." We had been to them before, so I was like, of course. But before we went to the retreat, we were going on a family vacation to Florida. I remember thinking this entire time on this vacation, this is my last vacation as a family with my 2 kids and with my wife. And I remember just like wanting to be drunk, just wanted to forget about it. So we get back home and the retreat's that weekend. And Friday morning, right off the jump, first thing was some reconciliation. And I just knew it. I knew that I had to be reconciled with her. God was saying, "I'm asking you to reconcile. I'm not promising you what the outcome's gonna be. I'm promising you that I'll be there." Man, I was scared. And that morning, I sat down in tears and I just started to tell her about who she had been married to. She's just nodding her head up and down, yes, with the very just in tears, bawling. And she's just like, "I've known this whole time." And right after she said that, she just said, "In spite of that, in spite of everything that I know you've done to me, I still love you. And I don't want to do this life with anybody else but you." And that was the realest that I've ever experienced the grace of Jesus Christ, the grace of God. And that was the moment where everything changed. It basically was the start of a really dark and difficult time for my wife, especially. For me to do some soul searching. Even one of my buddies, one of my close friends now, he asked me, he said, "Are you open to the fact that you may have become a Christian on that day?" And I look back and I see the change. And that's the only time in my life where that change has been that consistent, where the fruit has been different. All of the ministry opportunities, the molten moments that I've had with players, all of that came from my marriage being reconciled. Going from that retreat, going into my first year as a coach, things got reordered because football was at the top. And all of a sudden, it really was my relationship with Christ, my marriage to my wife, attending to my kids so that they have a dad who's fully present. And then football comes in, and these young men, these wide receivers that I coach, and this amazing staff of guys who really do love me, and I love them. But then it just all of a sudden takes on a different meaning. I'm not fighting and scratching for identity out of it, but it just happens to be the place where I'm serving Christ right now.